Subscribe to MDR. Like for more.
For a while now, there was a lot of confusion about Jawan's release date. A lot of these media houses were saying that Jawan is going to release on 2nd June only, and some were saying that it's going to release around Independence Day on August 11, and some other people were saying it's going to release around August 25, which would have been the worst release date for a film like this, because the fever of Independence Day would have passed by, and because Pathaan was such a big success coming out on Republic Day, it would either have to be that this film releases on Independence Day without competition like Pathaan did, or it would have to avoid releasing in that time frame at all, which happens to be the case. I'll tell you two things in this video: why summer would have not been very good for Shah Rukh Khan's Jawan releasing, and why it getting postponed is actually a very genius move. Let's go. Look, the original release date for Jawan was 2nd June. But do you know what film is coming out on 2nd June? Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Yes, the sequel to the Oscar-winning visual spectacle of a film with songs from, all the biggest industry artists at the time. And it's happening again, and they're putting out a sequel now after such a long wait, and this would have obviously hurt Jawan's collection. And guess what? Just a week down the line, on 9 June 2023 is coming out Transformers: The Rise of the Beasts. You kidding me or what? A new Transformer film after 5 years. Do I think it's gonna be one of the best films ever? No. But it gives Transformers a way to go into another storyline and into the prime of Optimus Prime. Look, I've grown up on Transformers, and even in India, Transformers has a big time following. So this movie is obviously gonna get some amount of collections, which would have taken away from Jawan yet again, hurting the business of the movie so much just a week into its release. But if you're thinking that this is it, you're wrong, because just a week after is coming out The Flash. Yes, the biggest summer movie of DC. This is a movie that they're building up on a level as Spider-Man No Way Home. You've got The Flash, you've got the old Tim Burton Batman coming back, Michael Keaton, and you've got Ben Affleck returning as Batman, and perhaps there is some speculation that Christian Bale might also come back as Batman because of the few looks in the movie I've seen. And if that happens, I'm going for this movie. I'm gonna be at the cinema every week in June because I've been saving up my pockets for this big time summer marathon that's gonna happen in June. And this is not it again, because guess what? Ajay Devgan's new film Maidaan is coming out on 23rd June. And I'm not really one for watching biographies at cinemas, but this movie is gonna take some amount of collection away from Jawan. Although I do think that this kind of film would have been better off releasing around Independence Day, but any case, you see, with Pathaan, it had a clear window. There was no other film coming out that month. People had their money saved up since New Year, and they spent it all on Pathaan, which is why Pathaan was so successful, partly because of the time window that it came out in. Marketing is so important, guys, honestly. And that's why this another film coming out, which would have obviously hurt Jawan, is Indiana Jones. Come on. It's the new Indiana Jones film. This film is crossing 500 million in at least the first 2 weeks. I'm not going to be surprised if it's more than that, just because of the anticipation around this film. This film is going to rock the cinemas, I'm telling you right now. Whether it's bad or good, it's going to be a big time hit. And there's also Satya Prem Ki Katha, which is also coming out somewhere in the last week of June, slated for perhaps 29 June. But hey, if that movie comes out then it's gonna take its collections to zero just because of how big of a hit Indiana Jones is gonna be, even in Indian markets. And these are all the films just coming out in June. Some of the biggest Hollywood sequels are coming out in this month. And hey, you can't blame them. It's America, guys.
It's called capitalism.
Come on. And these are films that are classics. People have seen these films on TV since they were growing up. I can speak for myself that I at least did, and I know so many people that did. Even in Indian markets, these films are gonna be big. And for that reason alone, Jawan should have been delayed from June to some other window. Now, it cannot release around Diwali time because, hey, Tiger 3 is coming out. So the only window it gives us is after August. Because in August and leading up to August as well, there's so many big movies coming out. You've got the next chapter of Insidious. You've got Mission Impossible 7. Yep, Mission Impossible 7. And in August, you've got Animal and Gadar 2 having a clash. These two films are gonna be very big and they're very different movies. So it'll be interesting to see what the audience caters to this time. A patriotic film coming out on Independence Day or a wild looking film coming out on Independence Day. I personally would love to watch both at the same time. Of course, I know that's not gonna be the case. But even just thinking about all these films coming out within the gap of just 2 to 3 months is wild. These are some of the biggest films. These are the biggest films of 2023 if you remove Shah Rukh and Salman from the conversation. I also think this is pretty bad because Hollywood should be better at marketing their films. Why not have one big film coming out every month? That can give people such a nice window as well to go and experience cinema once a month and have a nice time. Why put out like 5 great movies that people are looking forward to in 1 month? But in any case, it's gonna be a wild month regardless. Especially June is just jam-packed with Hollywood sequels to great classics. And so, this is why I think that because Jawan has been delayed to 7 September 2023, it's actually a good thing. Because at that time, it'll give a boost to Salman Khan's Tiger 3, in which Pathaan is obviously going to appear again. Thus, I obviously am gonna go along for that release window because it's such an open release window. There's nothing big happening at that time. No big movies are coming out. So Shah Rukh Khan will be there to fill in that gap after such a crazy wild summer and before a wild winter coming up. This is gonna be great. I can't wait for this. So all the competition is now on one side and Shah Rukh Khan is now on one side. But the lesson that we can take here is that sometimes it's better to avoid your competition in order to be above them, instead of trying to clash with them just for the sake of your ego and then having to either fail or in any case have a loss in the collections of your movies. This is a great moralistic lesson, not just for a film release but for life. Sometimes just avoid it and you're gonna be better off. Thank you for watching. This is MDR.